Welcome to tonight's episode of the Director's Suite Cast. I'm joined here with Glenn.
Hey John, how are you this evening?
Good, doing well. In tonight's episode, we're just going to focus on some news and also some films from Accent, a independent film distribution company located in Melbourne here in Australia. So, to start off tonight's episode, we're just going to cover some news. Now, recently in the US, there was the San Diego Comic-Con, and that was a pretty big event because they covered new releases, news, a whole bunch of stuff for pop culture fans like ourselves. One of the big things that were announced was the Batman box set officially got detailed. Glenn, I know you're a big Batman fan. Would you like to take away?
Yeah, look, Adam West is my Batman. There's no lie there. If anyone asks me in the movies who's my favourite, I'll just say, well, Adam West. He had his own Batman movie as well. This set, well, I'm finally glad to see this set on Blu-ray because the rights were tied up between Warner Brothers and Fox for so many years, but somehow they sorted those out. But where this set falls short is the packaging, unfortunately. You've seen the box it comes in, John. It looks like a
board game.
Board game is exactly it. It comes with some nice little keepsakes as well, like a little Hot Wheels Batmobile. I have one of those already, so
double dip.
Yeah, double dip, and some trading cards as well, which I really have no interest in, to be honest. But it's just the packaging of this. I pre-ordered my set from Amazon, but I actually cancelled it. I'm going to see what the UK bring out because it might be something a bit more shelf-friendly than this set is. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait and see. I agree with you there because you mentioned, and obviously another big thing was the box set looks perfect, like the DVD one.
Yeah.
I wish they kept that design with the Blu-ray set. I just don't know why they got this silly board game type set that takes up a majority of your shelf. And it looks quite gimmicky, to be honest, from the outside. And the other problem with the box set, I mean, you do get all the little hokey inserts like trading cards and the Hot Wheels car, but the special features aren't terribly great. Like there's nothing. There's just appears to be just like a few little segments from Adam West. A lot of fan-based content, and it's not, for a show that ran 3 seasons and has a huge legacy, it only has about 6 special features on the entire box set, and they claim the ultraviolet is a special feature, which I don't really think it is. All in all, it's a bit disappointing after a 15-year wait for this to come out on home video. Well, on DVD format that was anyway, but I don't know, I just feel like I didn't order it, obviously. I was holding off. But looking at it now, I'm just having second thoughts. And what do you think of the price point?
Look, the price is fair. It's 3 seasons for, how much was it? It was a couple of $100 at least.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking for Blu-ray, that's fine. It is what it is.
I think it works out to like $1.40 an episode, someone figured out, or something like that.
Yeah, for 1080p episodes, that's perfect. I'm very happy with that. The other thing is too, on the same day, they're releasing the season 1 on DVD separately. That looks nice, the packaging in that as well. Very similar to the 3-season DVD set as well. But yeah, like I said, let's wait and see what the UK or local release brings out for Batman 66 TV show.
Yeah, because it popped up for a pre-order on Amazon UK, but there was no box art yet? It appears to just be...
No, there was nothing, but this is a strange thing. The US set says that it's region locked. The UK one says it's region free.
Strange.
But yeah, again, that could just be a case of the websites getting their wires crossed and not having correct information on there. But yeah, who knows?
Who knows? It's quite we'll see what happens as it unfolds. Is the UK set? Is there a release date for that yet? Or is it
Yes, there is.
around
Believe
the
it's
same time? Like
November sometime. Yeah.
because November 11th is when the US set comes out, so I'm sure it's probably the same time. um, yeah, so it's an interesting set why they went down that path. What was that, Glenn?
Sorry, I was saying I think it's November 18.
November 18.
Check for you. I can't actually find it. No, I think it's November 18. Not
18.
sure. Yeah, sure.
It's not long. Not long at all.
Yes.
So it's just a waiting game. And I don't see where they're going to go with this set. As in, it's a limited edition Blu-ray, but are they going to release it later on without the big box?
Yeah. How limited is it? Is it if you want the Blu-ray, this is it, you have to buy it, or these other things aren't included in a later set we're releasing?
Yeah. There's just a lack of information from Warner Brothers, and it's quite frustrating for fans because I'm in a situation where I think, well, if I miss this Blu-ray set, is that it? I missed it forever, and then I have to pay, what, $300, $400 on eBay? But I honestly don't think it's that limited because it's a huge TV series. We'll wait and see. We'll see if this thing actually does sell out, but, who knows?
Yeah.
Anything else? Right. Move on?
No, that's it. Let's move on.
The Batman rant.
Yep.
Cool. So also this week, excuse me, we had quite a massive release for fans of the cult show Twin Peaks, which came out on Blu-ray. I picked this up at JB Hi-Fi, a local release, which is the same as the US one. I could have imported it for a cheaper price, but I'm the type of person where if I go in a store and I hold up my hands, there's no dents or any form of physical damage, I'll buy it on the spot. The only problem I have with ordering online is, Glenn, you probably experienced this, like, Australia Post do not handle your packages very well.
Especially steelbooks. They come with little dings and dents and whatnot, but yeah, and generally the postie's just going to chuck it down until you hear a loud bang at the front door and you run out and think, oh no, what's just happened to my order?
Yeah, so and that's the reason why I bought it locally, because it's such a sentimental show to me, and I just want a perfect copy. I don't want to have a ding and then contact Amazon, they send one back and I have to wait another few weeks and that gets damaged again. So I was more than happy to just pay the extra $30 and buy it in JB. But yeah, it's a stunning set. It has got all the entire 2 seasons. It's this beautiful case that opens up and you can go through the flipper discs, and they come out of like sort of a cardboard insert. I always have issues with those sets because I feel like my disc is going to scratch. You probably know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, ugh. But it has a beautiful artwork.
Yeah. The set does look beautiful, though, the box. I was looking at your photos that you uploaded on the directorsuite.com, and did you find that little hidden compartment?
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it was there, and so literally right underneath there's another mystery disc.
Okay.
Tucked away at the bottom. It's a box of mystery. But the reason I got this set was because it was the first time the deleted scenes for the Twin Peaks movie has been released, and fans have waited about 20 years for that. The studio cut it without Lynch's permission, because it was originally, I think, a 5-hour movie, but obviously that wasn't going to sit with a Hollywood studio, so it got cut down to about 2.5. So you've got a lot of cut footage, including scenes with David Bowie that got removed. So if you like David Bowie and if you like Twin Peaks, then there you go. It's all in one set. But the deleted scenes are pretty interesting. Glenn, do you have any comments on the set?
No, I've got a question, though. So I haven't bought the set yet, even though it's my favourite show. I was going to buy it, but my wallet said not yet. Was those deleted scenes, was there anything shown after the TV show? Like what happened to the characters or anything like that?
Oh, you mean, after season 2?
Yeah.
No, it's just relating to the prequel. It's kind of annoying.
Okay.
Because, everyone, no spoilers, but Twin Peaks left on a cliffhanger. And unfortunately, there was no season 3 because, CBS wouldn't renew it. But the deleted scenes are to do with the movie, which is a prequel. So, and a big warning, don't see the movie before you see the TV show, because the movie's a huge spoiler.
That's it. Yeah. You find out who killed Laura if you watch the movie first, so you don't want to do that.
No, and people just presume the movie first. Like, well, watch the movie. I'll give me a general idea of Twin Peaks. You'll be lost. You'll be so lost.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a stunning set, and I'm just glad to have like those deleted scenes of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, because I think the movie's really underrated. It's hated by a lot of people. It's hated when it first came out, but it's gained quite a cult following over the years, and people love it, and I love it myself. I think it's a great movie. But yeah, it's a fantastic set. You can pick it up locally at JB. I think it's a limited edition import from the US. It's pretty much the US disc, just with an MA rating like sticker, which they've slapped over the front. So yeah, pick it up while you can. There's only, I think, 1,700 available in Australia. Apparently, some odd number, but yeah,
very low. But there's always Amazon if you miss out on that local release.
It appears to be the same copy around the world, UK, US. It's the same box.
Right.
Cool. So, should we move on from Twin Peaks?
Let's
move on. So, Glenn, now I know that you're quite the comic book guy. So, at Comic-Con, there was a few exciting announcements in regards to Batman vs. Superman, and obviously this new Wonder Woman controversy with all these fanboys going crazy about what she looks like. Would you like to take that away?
Yeah, they released a promo image of Wonder Woman's costume from the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice movie. And I think it looks fine. Being a very devoted DC Comics person, and Wonder Woman's costume has changed over the years. I think it's perfectly fine. It looks like a warrior's costume, but many people are saying, oh, it looks like Xena the Warrior Princess.
Xena.
Yeah. People are going to remember that Wonder Woman was first. Xena is a Wonder Woman-inspired character, and both being in the genre of powerful women in Greek mythology. There's been pretty funny photoshops I've seen as well, where people have Photoshop Xena into there, and she looks very frustrated and saying, what the hell's going on, kind of thing. There's been some little Photoshop tweaks. People have made the costume more the red, white, and blue colour, with a little bit of yellow in there as well. Yeah. But similar to when, what was that, Superman Returns came out, and you saw the Brandon Ralph Superman costume, and everyone was saying, oh, it looks too beige, and some people tweaked the colour a bit with Photoshop and made it more colourful. So, look, I think it's fine. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, and the thing that just gets me is that it's not a Wonder Woman movie anyway, so she's not going to be, so generally speaking, the main lead. It's a Batman vs. Superman movie, even though she has got a significant role in the film. But yeah, I just think that's just fans overreacting. There's something very minor. I mean, this project's been in development for quite a while. I feel as if it hasn't been development hell. It's just took quite a while to eventuate. To develop. Because they were just obviously waiting till the Batman series finished and Man of Steel. But yeah, I look forward to it. I think it looks great. And they're just two completely different things, Xena and Wonder Woman, so I just don't get why there's like you said, women with strength, but apart from that, I just do not see the comparison. I just think people are overreacting.
Yeah. The other thing is, too, with that, this is my prediction, how I think the movie's going to go down. Superman and Batman fighting, and Wonder Woman breaks them up. That's it.
Yeah, that's the movie over. The end.
I was going to say something else.
All right, so so I think that should be pretty exciting when that comes out. Is it next year it comes out?
Yeah,
next year.
End of next year.
And next year.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so moving along. More Comic-Con related news. Even though this isn't really Comic-Con, this is more of a leak. The Deadpool test footage recently got leaked. Glenn, once again, I'll leave it to you.
I'm a big Rob Liefeld fan and of Deadpool and Cable. I was very happy to see this footage after how Deadpool was treated in X-Men Origins Wolverine, where his mouth was taped up and he had two swords. And I mean, look at it this way. Deadpool's main power is he's such a smart aleck, and to take that away from him, that is an absolute, sacrilege to do that. So, seeing this, it was a CGI suit with real actors incorporated into it, real thugs, real henchmen. But apart from that, it made me laugh, the end of it. I thought it was pretty funny. I just think about the Deadpool trade paperbacks I have as well. They got the costumes so right, where they had that little... There's a little part of his mask on the back of his skull cap where the mask just hangs down a little bit. They even got that into the costume. So I don't know why they chose not to go ahead with this movie. I wouldn't be surprised if someone leaked this on purpose to get a fan reaction. Who knows? But yeah, it was very much Deadpool, very much spot on. Something I want to see again in the future. So, Fox, if you're listening, that'd be great if you could make a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, no, when I saw it, I was quite confused by it because I didn't realize at the time it was test footage because it looked like a video game, with a CGI costume on. But I'm just shocked that Fox hasn't jumped on the opportunity to make a Deadpool movie. He's such a popular character within the comic book world. He's like the Marvel badass.
He's anti-Spider-Man, as Rob Liefeld said. He's almost as popular as Spider-Man. I mean, case in point, my boy came home with a Deadpool action figure one day from school, and he said, "Oh, what is..." I said, "Where did you get that from?" And he said, "Oh, a boy in my class gave it to me. He wanted Spider-Man, but I knew who Deadpool was, so he said I could have it." So I thought that was pretty cool.
You've taught him well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think a missed opportunity because he's a badass character. I see him similar to the Punisher in a way, but obviously a far more just stylish character. And much like Spider-Man crosses Punisher, you get Deadpool. But it's just disappointing. So interesting. So hopefully there's enough fan rambling to hopefully make this happen. But it's just a matter of time, I guess.
No, we'll see.
We'll see. Cool. All right. So I guess moving on. Anything else about Deadpool, or we're good to go?
No, we're good to go.
Okay. So next thing we're going to mention is what we are ordering, what we're getting in our mail. From the US. So Glenn and I, obviously we're pretty regulars at importing stuff from the US, UK, anywhere, any country, even Japan. But recently we saw something pop up on Amazon which is pretty significant. For years, or about a year or so, El Topo and The Holy Mountain have been out of print. That's Jodorowsky's two grand opus movies. And the Blu-rays were going for like $80 plus.
Crazy prices on eBay, and even some people were saying they've received the Blu-ray in the mail, but it was like a bootleg copy by someone that said, "Hey, I got a legitimate copy," but no, it wasn't.
It's got like Spanish subtitles, like Spanish dub. Yeah, it's disappointing to hear that it went out of print because it's a film I think people should see. And then out of the blue, I think I was just scrolling through Amazon and I saw it as a list price for $15, and I'm like, what? Is this a reseller, a third-party reseller? And it's actually Amazon, something legit, not a bootleg. And it appears they're coming back into print. It appears to be the same company that released the earlier editions. But yeah, Glenn and I, we've both ordered it. You excited about this arriving soon?
I can't wait. I told my wife about it. You've seen the trailer for Holy Mountain.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the movie too. But the trailer says nothing in your education will prepare you for what you're about to see, and how true those words are. This is probably I don't even know how to explain it. One of the strangest movies I've seen. It's like watching a movie on drugs, but without the drugs. Because the discs are region locked, so they will be Region A discs, but luckily, John, you and I both own Region switchable Blu-ray players, so that doesn't really matter to us so much. That no, I can't wait to see it in all its 1080p glory again.
Yeah, same here. And another quick thing, viewers, if you live in Australia, Glenn and I picked up a Blu-ray which was at Big W, which was about $70, and it's region free. It was at Laser, I think it was
Laser.
Laser,
yes.
yeah. So if it's still available, check it out because it's an amazing Blu-ray player, and it's beautiful. The quality's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I think if you're going to get someone into Jodorowsky, you'd start with El Topo because it's more of a kind of straightforward film, generally speaking. Because if they like westerns, it's kind of a western in a way. Half the film's a western, the other half's a spiritual journey, I guess. But Holy Mountain, if you showed someone that, they'd just be like, "What the hell am I watching?"
How did you get into Jodorowsky, if you don't mind me asking?
Trying to think. Okay, so this is pretty strange. When I was younger, I played this video game called No More Heroes. It was a Wii game. And I saw an interview with the director. He's a Japanese director, Suda51. Okay, he's a very weird guy, and he makes very weird video games. And he said that his main inspiration was El Topo. And I went, what the hell is El Topo? And obviously I was in high school, so I looked it up, did some research, and found El Topo. And from there I discovered Jodorowsky. So that's kind of my strange way of discovering him. That was a few years ago. Yourself?
I had a book about midnight movies, and it discussed Eraserhead, Pink Flamingos, Rocky Horror, Topo was one of them listed in there. And for many years it was out of print, and I didn't know where to get it, but a company was offering it online on VHS tape. So I bought it, and it must have been copied from a Japanese Laserdisc because a lot of it was blurred out, but yeah.
Japan laws.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about that. El Topo was a very rare movie for years. It never got an official video release in the US or anywhere in the world. It was just vanished in a way. It didn't come back until like a Laserdisc rip, which was bootlegged at markets, and so I never thought I'd see El Topo in Blu-ray. Did you ever think you'd see it someday in Blu-ray?
No, I didn't imagine buying it again either. I never thought you'd be able to buy it again, is what I mean. I thought, that's it, it's out of print, I've missed the opportunity.
Yep.
I got a little annoyed at the eBay prices, so I thought, okay, fine. But it's also out in Germany as well. There's a Region D I've seen on Amazon.de. The covers are a lot different than the US release of both movies, but hey, someone out there will probably want a Region B copy, so that's fine.
Yeah. One more quick thing. I've also got the Jodorowsky DVD box set that was released here locally. That had El Topo and a few of his earlier movies in the 60s he made in Mexico, so that's a pretty rare set now. It's gone out of print as well, so and also Santa Sangre went out of print. And, then it came back in print, so I don't know what's going on there. So we advise you, listeners, to stock up on your Jodorowsky while you can, because it ain't going to last.
Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of Jodorowsky, I've also got his the documentary about his making of Dune coming in the mail as well.
Yes.
So I'm just waiting for that to ship. Heard really good things about it. Very critically acclaimed documentary. It would have been an interesting film to see how he would have handled Dune. Very different to the way David Lynch made it. Have you got anything else coming in the mail, or?
I went on a bulk lot. Just quickly with Dune, I did see it at the Sydney Film Festival, and it was a really good film, and it's actually very funny as well.
Oh, good, yeah.
Because the things he says, just picks up money from his pockets, this money, this is the evil of all people, and just rants for like 20 minutes. I'm just, oh my goodness. But it was an amazing documentary, and to see his vision of Dune was fascinating. It was like it's going to be the ultimate sci-fi epic before Star Wars even existed or anything even existed. So it would have been interesting to see how the film industry went if that film actually got made. But anyway, Yeah, I ordered a few other things. I ordered a few Scream Factory titles. I ordered one called obviously ordered Santa Sangre as well, but Ginger Snaps. That's
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Have you seen it?
no, I haven't. No, I've heard very good things about it.
Yeah, werewolf movie. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, because Scream Factory is releasing it on Blu-ray, and for years I've heard of Ginger Snaps, heard of people talking about, but I've never seen it.
There are a couple of sequels to that as well. I haven't seen any of the sequels, but no, I know they're out there. Same actors, like that redhead girl
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
Ginger in the movie.
There's a few, and there's like Ginger's Back, the beginning, Ginger 2. Oh my goodness, it's like four of them by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Four, so many Gingers. Yeah, so that's coming. And I think a few other Scream Factory titles I pre-ordered, like Motel Hell. Yeah, it's great. And also, what else have I got on the way? Oh, and I also went on a bit of a Barnes and Noble binge in the US with Criterion. I got Scanners on from Criterion, which is
Oh,
a
nice.
beautiful set as well. Have you seen the Criterion cover? It's quite.
For Scanners,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw the picture you posted. It looks. I like Criterion how they do a different artwork than the standard movie poster of the film when it was originally released. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen Scanners. I've got to watch it one day.
I think it'll be right up your alley. And the thing about Criterion is they're moving into sort of a sci-fi territory, horror territory now, which is kind of good. They see that there is a market for it. They're also releasing Eraserhead, which has got that pre-ordered, obviously. Cool. Yes.
Extras on that, the individual David Lynch, the
short films.
Yeah, the short films.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. But we want to give a shout out to our good friends at Umbrella Films. They've got a local copy of Eraserhead as well, so I highly recommend you check that out.
Yeah, and that came out way before the Criterion. It's been around for quite a while, and it's been the main edition of it for quite some time. But yeah, well, we'll see. And there are rumors that Mulholland Drive might get picked up by Criterion. Yeah, who knows? It's all rumors, but hopefully. Cool. So, anything else in the mailbag, or should we move on?
No, that's about it, really.
Cool. All right. So now we want to dedicate the rest of the show to our good friends at Accent Films, or Accent. I don't know how it's pronounced. How would you pronounce it, Glenn?
Accent.
Accent. Yeah, exactly. Accent.
Yeah.
Accent Films are based in Melbourne, and they are a film distribution company that releases some pretty out there stuff. So if you're a fan of cult cinema, foreign cinema, art house, they really have got it on their lists. So Glenn and I recently, and obviously our other host Dom, received a few Accent Films recently. We actually got a few and we went through them, and we just wanted to discuss them in a little bit of detail. And a few other things that Accent Films have coming up within the year. So, to start off, I think I'll start with the film that I reviewed, which was KINK. So, KINK was the 2013 documentary. It was actually produced by James Franco, funny enough. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so he had a large involvement in that film.
No wonder he's turning up in selfies and stuff like that. Now, like a phenomenon where girls just want their photo with James Franco. Wonder if this has got anything to do with it.
KINK started it all.
Yeah.
But no, KINK was a fascinating documentary. I just got it in front of me here. It was about 90 minutes long, and make note, I love Ascent's artwork. Like, they kind of remind me of Criterion, how they have this unique image for each one of their releases. It's very nice, and they remind me. I call them the Criterion of Australia, if I had the chance. But yeah, so pretty much, KINK was a documentary. It's based on this website in America called kink.com, and it's like this bondage website, and like very dark, hardcore stuff goes on this website, and it's just looking at the making of this company and the people, and it's just like an everyday job. The people are quite normal, you know. Before a shoot, they're all smiling, having a chat. Then they get in the shoot and they start whipping each other, and
Right.
yeah. And then they have like these like sort of, you know, fake fantasy scenes, like, you know, terrible subject matter like gang rape scenes, and then afterwards they get up and have a chat about their kids and their because they're family people, and this is a job. This is their job, and they have to be professional as they can. And it does get quite emotional because you got a few mothers who do it just for money to support their kids, and it's a very interesting documentary. So if you go into it thinking it's all about bondage and S&M, it's not. It's more of a human study on the people involved with this production. So yeah, people get the misconception that based on the cover and what they've heard, that's all just you're pretty much just going and watching porn, but it's not. It's more a making of. So, what did you think it was going to be, Glenn? Just based on.
I actually thought it was going to be. I saw a couple of screen caps. I thought it was going to be about a guy that kidnaps girls and does dreadful things to them. So I wasn't sure what it was going to be about at all. I didn't know it was a documentary though. So
yeah, KINK, because just based on the images, like you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to read this. This just looks shit. But yeah, check it out. It's a documentary on just people who do this, and they're normal. They're just normal people, and that's one of the people in the documentary. They're like, we're just normal people. We go home. We don't wear leather masks to dinner, and we don't have like a dungeon in our homes. We just have normal lives, and we come here and we act out fancy, and then we get paid and we go home. It's just a job. So check it out. Highly recommended. If you're after something very different, KINK is a documentary that you'll think about for a while. And that's on Ascent Films, and that's only on DVD, but it appears to be the only release of it in the world on DVD. So anyway, there you go. So moving along, we had a film that you actually went over, Bellflower.
Yeah, Bellflower, directed by Evan Glodell. Starring Evan Glodell, he directed and starred in this film, and Jesse Wiseman.
So it's a Citizen Kane.
Yeah. It was a lot more like Citizen Kane, a lot less like Ed Wood. So, no, I really enjoyed it. This film fooled me in a couple of ways, actually, similar to how the KINK cover fooled you. I got the impression this film was a post-apocalyptic movie, but it was more of a post-apocalyptic melodrama. So I was expecting like a Mad Max or
same here.
Book of Eli or something like that. But if you go in thinking it's that, prepare to be disappointed. It's more like Fight Club meets Reality Bites, if that makes sense. Yep. Okay. My wife said it was more like Fight Club meets Natural Born Killers without all that trippy imagery that you have in the movie. So everything starts out nice and cutesy. It's about a bunch of guys that have an obsession with the movie Mad Max, and they are building a flamethrower. So some of the stuff they do in the film, like blow up things, let's face it, whoever hasn't wanted to do that. One of the things they do in the film, which I actually was surprised, they got a barbecue gas tank and chained it up to 2 posts, and then took out a shotgun and then started firing shots at it, and this gas tank just flies around with fire coming out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's about these 2 guys that are really into that. But, the main character, played by Evan Glodell, meets a girl and they run off together to Texas on a date. And the movie focuses on their relationship. Now, I was waiting for something to happen in this film. That's not to say it was boring, but I thought there's got to be some turning point somewhere. And there is. What actually happened was, well, I won't spoil it for you, but Jesse Wiseman's character... Well, Jesse Wiseman, let's talk about her for a second. She reminds me of Christina Applegate a fair bit. She really put herself out there as an actress. So I'm pretty sure we'll see her again. But
just quickly, sorry to interrupt, I believe it was an independent film?
It was. It cost $17,000 to make, and it was shot over 3 years.
Well.
Okay. So that kind of surprised me. The camera was very shaky, but let's face it, in this day and age, what movie doesn't have a shaky camera? It sets mood and tone. My wife really, I watched it with my wife. She really liked the rockabilly and retro design of the characters of their wardrobe. Um, the movie's a bit time displaced as well, in that some of the scenes were happen, but some of the scenes are out of place and don't follow on chronologically. So I'll just explain. In one scene, a guy trades his car for a motorcycle, and then in the next scene, he's driving in the car. So that was a bit of a strange chronological sequence to it. The last 15 minutes, it really took a really dark twist. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, and it was a real change from its cutesy start. The display as well. We talk about the video. It looked like it had boot polish on the screen in some places. There was sort of a dark, dusty. You know how in Fight Club, how you see the cigarette burns? And,
yeah, intentionally.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that going on as well. Not the cigarette burns itself, but
it was sort of a dingy, sort of dark.
Yeah, to make it a bit more gritty and darker. The music was great. It had like a techno echo music to it. I was very much reminded of, the music from the movie Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit like that.
So kind of like a retro.
Yeah, the audio, I had to turn it down in places because I woke my daughter up because she heard screaming downstairs. I felt pretty bad, so I turned it down a bit. It's a very loud movie. There is an alternate ending to the movie that is integrated into the movie itself. You don't have to look at the special features for that.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was, like I said, chronologically time displaced. Looking at the special features, there's behind the scenes. They looked at how they built the car, which they incorporated the flamethrower in. There's outtakes and the trailer. I gave this movie a 3 out of 5 altogether. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one.
Because it's
what did you give KINK, by the way?
Oh, KINK. I believe I gave that 4 out of 5.
Okay, great, yeah. So I give this 3 out of 5. It wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. But, yeah, that's what I thought of it.
Just kind of just the mind, just confusing, deliberately, intentionally. It's just one of those surrealist, almost sort of art house sort of film, I guess.
Yeah.
Avant-garde.
What was that, sorry?
Avant-garde. It's kind of like, sort of like surreal art house, like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Deliberately make no sense.
It made sense. It was kind of like, well, why did you put these little snippets in here?
Yeah.
What happened? But fair enough.
You got me intrigued now.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you borrow it.
And just return in regards to that. It was shot digitally, so I presume it was 1080p video, so it looked good on TV, I presume.
Yeah. 235:1 video. So
sweet. Yeah. Awesome. So I guess you'd recommend it to people if they're sort of in that sort of surrealist genre. Or?
I wouldn't recommend it as a date movie or a first date movie. But yeah, the cover says, a mix of John Hughes, Mad Max, and Fight Club, intense and darkly gorgeous. Yep, that's pretty much how I would sum up the movie. I wouldn't say John Hughes, though. I can't imagine Molly Ringwald in this. It's more like I said before, Reality Bites or Natural Born Killers. Good movie.
Cool. Well, it sounds like something I actually want to check out now. So that's the thing about Ascent, is their library is so varied. And they've got comedy to horror to indie. It's just extreme amount of variety. Cool. So moving on, the title which I reviewed was The Conspiracy. Now this was sort of a mockumentary from 2012. It's in the vein of Blair Witch Project. However, imagine the Blair Witch Project, but with conspiracy theories. So let me try and set this up. So it's directed by Christopher McBride, and it stars Aaron Poole and James Gilbert. And they play themselves as two young documentary filmmakers who go out to interview this guy called Terrence, and Terrence is a conspiracy theorist. He's this older guy, ponytail, lives in this apartment, got posters everywhere, is obsessed by the government, historical events. He thinks that there's one big New World Order conspiracy. And then he goes missing, and the two filmmakers go to his apartment. He's gone. He's gone missing. What, did the government get rid of him? Who knows? So basically they then, one of them, James, sorry, he's called Jim in the film. Jim. Aaron plays himself. Jim becomes obsessed with Terrence's life work, like all these conspiracy, like piles of newspapers and backdates, and he discovers this secret organization called the Terrence Club. And the Terrence Club's this big group of elitists who meet up once a year, and they control all the major corporations, all the governments, and sound familiar?
It's good, yeah.
Yeah. And so what they plan on doing is infiltrating this club, this Terrence Club, and they put on little spy cams, and they decide to go in. So I'll leave it there. But it's a fake documentary, but it's so convincing. You've got these interviews with conspiracy theorists, and sometimes I think they're just having a laugh, like the filmmakers, because some of the stuff they say is very over the top, deliberately. But some of it's just intriguing. Even if you don't like, I said in my review, even if you don't like conspiracy theories, as a thriller, it works as a standalone film. Because it's, from start to finish, you're left sitting on the edge, wondering what's going to happen to these two guys. They're getting close to the truth. There's people following them. People, they're driving down the streets, a black van follows them. It's a fascinating fake documentary, and I think it's very enjoyable. I loved it. I thought it was great. Very clever. It's the most clever documentary I've seen since, like I said, Blair Witch Project. And I love my mockumentaries, like This is Spinal Tap. Yeah, I love them. I think they're great. But yeah, check out The Conspiracy. It has got a Blu-ray release from Ascent Films, and I do like the cover. It's got and there is this image of the bull that keeps reoccurring, because this Terrence Club worships the bull. That's the whole idea of it. So they've got some sort of religion, and yeah, very clever. It's I believe what country? I think it's a Canadian film, if I'm correct. Yeah, Canadian film. It's shot digitally, so on Blu-ray 1080p it looks amazing, looks great, and the audio is amazing. 5.1 Dolby sound. You do get a bunch of trailers, no features, but this has not been released in the US, so we're actually one of the few countries to actually have it on Blu-ray, which is pretty cool.
Oh, good stuff.
But overall, I gave it 4 out of 5 because I thought it was just a clever, very interesting little film.
Excellent. All right. That sounds good. I'll trade you. You can watch Bellflower. I'll watch The Conspiracy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a deal.
Stuff. Alrighty. All right. The next one I'm reviewing is Resolution, which is a 2012 film starring Peter, and I'm going to get this wrong, Salella? Peter Salella, let's say that.
Salella.
Yeah. And Vinnie Curran. Now, Salella plays a guy from the city that goes back to his hometown to see his best mate, and his best mate's a junkie. And he feels the need to save him, so to speak, so he handcuffs him to a pipe in the house that he lives in. Now, this movie goes for an hour and a half, and it isn't as straightforward as two guys stuck in a house and one of them's chained to a pipe. There are a couple of subplots intertwined into the movie, such as the junkie friend owes drug money, and unfortunately for both the main characters, the house resides on a Native American reservation land, and the owners want them out of the house. There's a bit more to it than that, but I won't spoil it again. And there are a couple more plots that have a bit of a Twin Peaks supernatural vibe to it. So, if you think about videotapes and drugs and shooting and things like that, that's what it reminded me of. The banter back and forth between the main character and his junkie friend is slightly humorous. The film took a real supernatural turn to it as well. The audio, there's not much I can say about the audio. The audio was fine, but there were places where the characters were talking from a distance, and I had to check if the audio was out of sync on my player. Fortunately, it wasn't in places. It was just, I think it was just they were far away, the microphone was clipped to them, and they were talking, and that was it. I thought it was actually dubbed when they were talking, but no, it was fine. Again, you got that shaky screen in places. It's a 241 to 1 in 1080p. I believe it's not fair to compare it to Bellflower, but, you know, I was given these two films to review. I enjoyed Resolution more, actually. I was surprised. I thought it'd be the other way around. I thought I'd like Bellflower and more than Resolution, but I liked Resolution more than Bellflower. So it was a lot more coherent and made sense. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Now, the extras on the Blu-ray release, there's an alternate ending that's not incorporated into the film, like Bellflower, but they explain why the alternate ending wasn't included into the main film, and I've got to say, yep, I'm glad they didn't. But there's behind-the-scenes director's commentary, cast and crew commentary, an extended scene, outtakes. I always get nervous watching outtakes for such serious, dark movies because you think, is this going to ruin my enjoyment of the movie?
No, I agree.
There's something called Crazy Chris as well. So I think that's to do with his best friend being handcuffed to that pipe, and he says some pretty crazy things. But yeah, this was a great film. Like I said, 3.5 out of 5. I recommend it. The ending, well, yeah, you can't expect the ending. But this movie's won all sorts of film festival awards as well. So
I like
Fantasia, Toronto After Dark, Lund Fantastique. There's about 6 of them on the cover, so check it out. Resolution from Accent.
I like those sort of films where you go in expecting it to be something, you know, it starts off and then by the end of it, it's a completely different movie in terms of themes. I like the whole Twin Peaks sort of dark secret vibe to it, which it's got me very intrigued now.
Okay.
Because I got a misinterpretation of some sort of action movie because there's like fire on the front and
yeah, there's a skull incorporated into a explosion on the front, and the main character on the front is holding a shotgun. You think looking at the cover, it's some kind of Arnie or Dolph Lundgren type movie or something like that, but no, it's not at all. Far from it.
Cool. Awesome. So, anything else to add to that, or we'll move on to my title?
That's
Sweet.
all.
So overall, you would recommend it?
I'd recommend both of these. Yeah, I just enjoyed Resolution more.
Yep, as a better film. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. So moving along now. Next film I have is actually Irreversible. Now this is an extremely controversial French film which came out in 2002. I did see it many years ago because of the controversy around it. It was kind of spoken as one of these new French new extreme films. Now, Ascent released this on DVD when it first came out back in like 2003, 2004 on DVD. So this Blu-ray upgrade is a great addition to the collection. But Irreversible, it's a French film directed by, he did also Enter the Void. That's kind of a, trying to think of his name, Gaspar Noé. Hope I pronounced that right. And more or less, the movie goes backwards. That's why it's called Irreversible. Starts off with the credits, and the story unfolds backwards. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a movie. What was that Christopher Nolan film? I think it was Following, or Deco Backwards. One of them. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not a huge Nolan fan, but I know one of them do. But yeah, the whole movie goes backwards. So the plot, the beginning of the movie is these two guys frantic. They're going in a club and they're trying to track down this one guy, and they find him and they bash his head in with a fire hydrant. It's a very graphic film. It's very violent. Make note, if you're very offended by violence, this film may not be for you, but if you can handle it, you're going to get one of the most unique films ever made. So as it goes backwards, we discover these two guys are trying to track down a man, and there's no spoilers because there is a pretty significant scene halfway through. Just warning you, there is like a 10-minute rape scene in this movie, so once again, if this sort of stuff offends you, it's pretty graphic, and the camera does not shy away. So they're just trying to track down this man who essentially raped his girlfriend, and the two guys go on a mission to find this guy, and but there's so much more to it than that, and there's a few subplots, but just the whole idea of trying to get your head around the movie while it's going backwards, because nothing makes sense at the beginning of it, but by the end of it, it makes complete sense. The entire movie, it is more of an art house film. It's got like extreme spinning cameras, like the camera's always frantically moving. At some points, where I felt, you can feel quite nauseous because it does not stop spinning. Like, it's hard to explain. It's just going up and down, up and down. But as a thriller, I guess, or I don't even know what category this film falls in. It's kind of a mystery film. I highly recommend Irreversible if you can handle the subject matter, because it is very graphically violent.
Right. I'm just looking at IMDb. This has got Monica Bellucci in it as
Yes.
The main character.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, she's the one that
gets raped in the
yeah.
movie. Yeah, her character.
Yeah, and so this was one of her bigger films, one of her breakout roles. Well, she did tons of films before that, but this was one of her more daring roles, shall we say? And it's just it's a very disturbing film, but very well made. Very well made. It's one of those films that question, subject matter over artistic choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've seen a few of them in the past, like wonderful films like Sailor and
Caligula.
Caligula was trash.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I wonder that sometimes. Like, you see movies and the things are so graphic in it, and sometimes you just don't pay attention to it. You're paying attention to how the movie is as a whole, and someone in your family will be offended by that, and then you think, well, hang on, I wasn't offended by that, but I take it you're saying this is a movie where that subject matter is greater than the movie itself, and it kind of not outshines, but it accentuates more than the movie.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly it. I think the director did it deliberately on purpose, because like he has done, like I said, he did a sci-fi film called Enter the Void, which is highly recommended. He also did another one called I Stand Alone, which is kind of this depressing drama about this butcher in France. So he's got a pretty interesting filmography. But yeah, it's one of those films where it's challenging, but just very stylish, very stylized. Like the camera, there's some very clever camera techniques, and the whole concept of going backwards. It's very impressive film. But yeah, once again I recommend this. I gave this film 4 out of 5. Seems like I'm giving everything 4 out of 5, but it's all been consistent quality so far on my behalf. But yeah, it's a great film, and the Blu-ray looks very nice. It was shot on 16mm, so obviously when it's coming across, it's not going to look the best, but for a film that's shot on 16mm, it looks fantastic from a cent Blu-ray. It was shot on 2.351, so it's extremely wide. Obviously, it's super wide aspect ratio. A 5.1 Dolby surround sound. And you do get a bunch of extras, so you do get a special effects feature, because there was CGI put in the movie, which was kind of interesting because it was shown 16mm. Did spoil it, but not too much, but it was just like, oh, that CG, that blood, oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Kind of like Midnight Meat Train type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a deleted scene, original French trailer, teasers, stress, and there's a feature called Outrage, which is pretty interesting because Outrage covers the outrage of the film and why people were so furious. And there were a few critics that defended it, like Roger Ebert. I think he defended it. So a few highly respected critics thought, it's a good film if you look past all the violent subject matter. And yeah, it's just saying the world's violent. That's pretty much it. Like, you probably saw the poster. There's this sort of girl walking down the corridor. That's the scene. That's the actual like scene itself where she gets attacked.
Right.
Yeah, it's the scene there. But overall, video quality is great. Audio is great. Challenging movie. Yeah, that's and one quick thing I was going to mention. This is the only Blu-ray release of this movie in the world. So Australia is the first one. So there's been a. If you want to import it, you can get through Ascent direct.
Right, Ascent. There you go. Bringing out movies that are only available on Blu-ray in Australia.
Yeah, I think a lot of these titles we have covered haven't got international releases, to my knowledge.
I'm not sure about the two I reviewed, but you said the two you did.
Yeah, KINK and Conspiracy, and yeah, all three of them haven't been released in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So, just a few on a quick note. We have got other titles that we are going to get reviewed very soon. So they'll be up on directorsweetcast.com website very soon. Glenn, obviously you'll be reviewing The Battery. So that kind of looks like it's your cup of tea, kind of like this zombie post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah. Look, any of the movies I watch, my wife sits down and watches them with me, and I think, what would be to our taste to watch that? But my wife is a real big fan of The Walking Dead and very old George Romeo zombie movies. But this looks right up my alley.
Cool. And obviously myself, I've also got. So yeah, the Scottish movie called Sawney Flesh of Man. That's imagine if Texas Chainsaw Massacre was in the Scottish Highlands. That's how I describe it. Super gory, very, very suspenseful. I will do a review of that. We can get a proper review up on the site, but it's quite an intense little piece of Scottish horror, and I don't know many Scottish horror films to my knowledge. So once again, Ascent releases it on Blu-ray and DVD. The other titles that we're going to get reviewed is Jugface. The other title that we're going to review is Here Comes the Devil, which is a Spanish film that recently came out and it gained quite a bit of reception around the world. And I guess, like I said, Dom's going to review Saturday Morning Massacre, which is kind of this darker version of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that sounds so funny.
So that's going to be on his review list. Get done. So hopefully we can get these all up very soon. You'll get and we will be reviewing Gundu from Ascent Films, and also we'll be doing a review of Kiss of the Damned, which is a new vampire movie from Zan Cassavetes. She's actually the daughter of John Cassavetes, a very famous independent filmmaker. So a lot of reviews coming to the website very soon, so keep an eye out. And should be a pretty packed site full of stuff and goodies, and we'll keep consistent. Anything else, Glenn, you have to say?
No, that's all from me. Thank you to Accent Films for letting us review those two movies, from myself anyway. I really enjoyed it. Keep them coming. Good stuff.
Yeah, so check out Ascent Films. You can go to their website, and obviously they have an online store, so check out those titles. I mean, we will get these reviews up, so you'll be able to have a read of it yourself and see what you think of them, in theory. So, anything else, or we can wrap it up?
That's it from me.
That's it. All right, everyone. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
See you then.
See you then, guys.